Hello everyone, thank you so much for your patience, and thanks for checking in on me. I appreciate all of you. I was glad that I found that community tab thingy on YouTube. I've never actually used it before, but I've seen other creators use it, and it was nice to put out that status update. I wasn't sure if anybody would see it or not, but you guys did, so yay. I will probably use that more going forward. That was a cool feature. So last week my very old computer decided to die. My husband had bought that computer used like a number of years ago, and you know, it worked fine at first. I was looking at the computer specs, and it's actually from 2009, so it was 16 years old. So I was surprised that it was still working, but it decided to finally die. It didn't completely die, but every web page was taking about 11 minutes to load, if it would load. So I felt like that was back in 1994, you know, last century. And just, it was being a pain in the butt. Nothing would upload to CapCut, which is where I do my editing. It wouldn't connect to the internet most of the time. And I was blaming our internet provider for quite a while. But then I'd go on my, cell phone and the internet would work fine. So I was like, okay, it has to be the computer. So I said to my husband, I was like, I'm at my wit's end. Like, nothing is working. I already spent 23 hours on this video you're about to see, and I got nowhere with it. So good times. I won't go into any more details, but thank you so much for checking in on me. I appreciate all of you. Please enjoy this long-awaited video. It's just how much iron I used up in March. So if you watch my January, February video, or videos, I should say, then you'll understand the format. I did add a few extra things in here this time, just for fun, because, there's a few extra things I filmed, and I figured I'd throw it in with this video. So, I'm kind of off the hook for the video I was supposed to put up this weekend, but that's okay, because I haven't even started that project yet because of all the time I spent trying to edit on my old computer. So the new one has arrived. It's just a tiny little black box. You can kind of see it like right there. So I'm excited that it's so tiny and it's so fast, and it's just so nice to have a computer that actually loads things now. So I'm so excited. It just arrived this afternoon, and I've been, installing what I need on it, and I'm very excited to, have something that works. So please enjoy this long-awaited video, and I'll probably do like an outro as well, just recapping everything and what my plans are going forward. Good morning and happy Sunday. I am filming this part on April 13th, the day this video is to come out. I didn't get it out for 6 a.m. this morning just because my week last week was just too busy and I didn't get any chance to film anything really. So luckily 2 weeks before that I had everything filmed that you're going to see. So yesterday, Saturday, April 12th, I took my plushies to our year-round market thing, and I did really well. So I just want to go over those. It's not really anything to do with how much yarn I made in March, but I figured while it's fresh in my brain, we're going to go through it. So I had a $5 bin, and that did really well. I sold 9 items out of there, so that was $45 in profit. So that was like the little Easter bunnies I was freehanding that kind of look like loaf cats, but I made bunny ears instead. Basically the same concept, but puppies. And then I had one mini kitty in there, and then a bunch of little yellow chickies. So those were in there. That worked out really well. Oh, and Easter peeps. I put those in there because I want to sell them before Easter, and this was really my only chance because every other event I have is after Easter. So that worked out. A lot of the peeps went, and yay. So I still have, I was packing up. I counted them. I have 29 items left for the $5 bin. None of the little palm whales sold, like those little mini whales. The pattern's all from Jade on her Instagram. None of those sold, but honestly I wouldn't pay $5 for those either. But it kind of filled up the basket, so that was nice. Next thing I wrote down was jellyfish. I had made 3 of them in total. I never got a photograph of them because I made them this week. And then I was like, I'll photograph them next week, but they sold, so. I'll put a picture of my booth though, up here. Then you can see the jellyfish are hanging from a basket, and I really think it caught people's eye because people seen them from a distance while they were eating their breakfast or whatever at the market, and then they came running over after, and they're like, oh my god, we were looking at them, the wind was flapping the tentacles. So if you do an outdoor event, hang your jellyfish. So you'll see them there in the picture. I sold the 2 blue, I still have the orange one left, well, coral, orange, whatever. I took 4 possums, and I sold 3 out of 4 for $15 each. People loved them. They thought they were hilarious. I also had them positioned well, 2 of them at a basket up top, the purple basket you see up there, and he was kind of like flailing out of the basket. People thought that was hilarious. So if you make your possums with like a little bit of character, do it, because hilarious. To the same lady, I sold a black cat, a little mini kitty that I've been freehanding. It's like a little mini love cat with green eyes because she's seen it. She's like, that looks like my cat. So I figured that would happen eventually. So that was cool. And she also bought my $20 dragon. I had him listed for $30 originally, but at the last market day I did, people picked him up, looked at the price tag, and quickly set him back down like 6 times. So I was like, okay, I gotta lower the price on him. So he sold for 20, so that was nice. He was just that little tiny dragon I had made. I'm not gonna bother putting pictures for all of these plushies just because I don't have the time today. I'm just doing this quickly. And then I sold a tiny axolotl that was $10, the only one I'll ever make. It was a free pattern on Instagram, I believe from Loops and Knots Crochet. It was just so small, it was so hard to make with my hands. So I made some fat ones, but they didn't sell. That's okay. I sold my $35, for $35 I sold the Holstein cow snuggler from the Amigurumi Torture Challenge. I'm so glad that finally sold. Nobody was looking at it, so I had ended up ordering that black stretchy tablecloth from Amazon, and I was like, you know what, because I didn't have room to hang everything on my new hanging rack thingy. You'll see a video of that in a second. So I was like, I don't have room like where it's visible, so I ended up using a safety pin and pinning it to the front of the booth, and then it caught somebody's eye, and she was like, oh, I need that for my dog. And I was like, is your dog a destroyer? Because that took me quite a while. And then she's like, oh no, this dog that I have, she has 5, she works in vet med, she showed me their photos, which was awesome. She had said only one dog doesn't destroy toys, and she guards them with her life, so her siblings can't get to them. So she's like, don't worry, it'll be fine. I was like, okay, all right, it's yours, and give me your money, please. So that was nice. And then I sold for $15, I sold 2 my palm turtles. They're just palm-sized turtles. I'm pretty sure I free-handed those, to be honest with you. And then my $20 duckies, it was I think it's the baby Della duck. I'm pretty sure, because I bought it on Etsy, and it's a really cute pattern. I had made a whole bunch of them. So I sent 2 or 3 to a store that I'm stocking now, and then I took 4 of them with me. I sold 2 of them. Yeah, because I still have the mallard left. I'm selling him for $25 because all the color changes. I sold a sea turtle for $30, and I never got a photo of it because I made it just this week, and then I was like, I'll take a photo of it later, but didn't happen. So I want you to just picture it because it was so pretty. So I used this beautiful off shade that I have. It's like a mint color, and this from Michael's has that, I don't know, Sweet Home chenille, I don't know what it's called, but it has like the flowers on it. I got on clearance one day because it was a big jumbled mess and I untangled it. So that was really cool. It was so pretty. It looked really good together. So if you ever have like a mint and then use it with this, honestly, it sold at the end of the day, and I was so surprised because everybody picked it up, thought it was so pretty. And then eventually a college age girl came along. She's like, I need this. So that was great. She also bought a $5 mystery item. Okay. Or sorry, no, she bought a mystery box for $9. And then the next thing I sold was a snake that I made this week. Don't have a photo of that either, but I used tourmaline, which is this nice color here. Sorry if you can hear my neighbor's lawnmower. It looks like he's getting things started for the spring. So I made this tourmaline colored snake, and that sold at the end of the day. And then I finally sold this little guy. He was from the Amigurumi Torture Challenge, and somebody needed a baby safe gift who really loves dinosaurs. I was like, oh, what about this one? She's like, I'm really leaning towards that other thing over there. It was one of my duckies. And then their husband was like, well, that dinosaur is so unique. Yes, it's $10 more, but it's so unique. Right? And she's like, yeah, that's true. You know, he might get a ducky from somebody else. And I said, the ducky is a popular pattern right now, like Della Duck or whatever it's called. I think it's Della, baby Della Duck is popular right now. So he might get that as a gift from somebody else. So she was like, okay, yeah, we'll do the dinosaur. So that was nice. And then in total, I sold 3 mystery boxes. Last market I did, I only sold 2 to one person. So I had them listed for $9 or 2 for $15. So I sold 3 this time. So that was really fun. And that's what I sold yesterday. So it was a long day. I had to be there at 6:15 to get like a spot, you know, like they assign you spots type thing. And then We were there till 3:30. So it opens at 7. People don't start showing up until like 8:30ish. So that's okay because you have time to set up. And then you're open till 3:30. But it was like really busy all day because, you know, Saturdays in the market are always busy. Like people flock from the whole province to go to this thing. Well, it feels like that. I don't know if it's true for every Saturday, especially like this. It was a little bit colder in the morning, but around like 2 p.m. it started to warm up. So in total yesterday, my sales were $364. I had to pay $105 for my booth fee. It's $85 for the day. And then I did decide to get daily vendor insurance just in case. So that's $105 in total. And then I paid $20 for lunch. So my profit ended up being $239. Of course, that does not include material cost or like my fuel cost to get there, which was probably around like $10, $15. So I'll say my profit is around $225 in the end. So that was great. Something I was hoping and wishing and praying for all week, because I knew my husband couldn't come with me, or my friends couldn't come with me, my aunts couldn't come to help me out, and my sister couldn't come to help me out. I was hoping for a really good booth neighbor, because, you know, you gotta pee at some point, and my husband says I have the bladder of an owl, because I do pee a lot, but I do also drink a lot. I hydrate quite a bit. So I was hoping for a good booth neighbor who didn't mind, like, you know, watching my booth while we took pee breaks type thing. So I got that, and I was so pleased because the people next to me on the one end, you know, they were teenagers and they were running like a lemonade stand. I didn't like them that much because they were just kind of rude. But my neighbor next to me, Grandpa Doug, was really, really sweet. He said his granddaughter usually comes with him to help, but she got her first job, so she wasn't able to come yesterday. And so he was like, how about we partner up and like we'll do breaks together. I said, thank you so much, Doug. So I said I was hoping for this. And he was like, well, going forward, when you come on Saturdays or whenever, ask if I'm here, and then if you get a booth next to me. I said, okay, that's great. I'm very excited. So he was really sweet. I heard about his life story, and he's a retired police officer, and he does woodworking now to, you know, use up some spare time as a hobby because his wife has her own hobbies, and they're both retired, and he was just really sweet to learn about. They have 4 kids and 9 grandkids. I learned a lot about him, but it was we had a lot of time to, like, you know, sit and chat together, and but it was busy all day. So, but it was fun because I was selling like his items and he was kind of helping me sell mine, and we made a great team. So at the end of the day, I was really hoping, well, at the beginning of the day, I was hoping the one thing on his booth didn't sell. And if it did, no big deal, because I don't need it. But at the end of the day, it was still there. So I asked him, I said, do you want to do a trade? And he goes, well, I don't really need any plushies. I said, you have 9 grandkids, Doug. He's like, yeah, that's true. I don't know if any of them are really into plushies anymore, though. He goes, but my granddaughter might be, but she's not here. That one I'm talking about. I said, okay. And I said, how about I give you $40 out of the 60 you're asking for this item, and then she can pick out a plushie, whatever she wants, next time she's here. And like, we're here together. He's like, yeah, okay, that sounds good. So he was like, I trust you. My police instincts tell me to trust you. So that was really sweet of him. He's a nice guy. So this is what I got from Doug. It's a bowl, and it's a live edge, so this is where the bark would have been. And I love unique pieces like this because this can't be remade because it's one of a kind. So the pith, which is like the center of the tree rings, he said always cracks. And like, you just, every time you get a tree or a branch, that's what happens. And these are 3 branches together, he told me. So this is one side, and the pith didn't crack as much on this side. I have the window curtain open, so it's a little bit of a glare, but it's just so pretty, and it's pretty deep. So I'm excited. I love unique pieces like this, as I said, and it's really pretty. And it was so fun to like hear him talk about his craft because he uses all different types of wood, and he gets wood from this place, and then his son owns a construction company, so he gets the leftover wood from those projects and turns it into something cool. He had some really nice like cutting boards and charcuterie boards, as I call them, shark coochie boards, and, you know, just a lot of other cool things. He also had some wooden eggs. I'll put a picture here. They were so cool. A lot of people thought like that was his showstopper, so that was really cool to see people buying those, and he had some good jokes surrounding them and stuff. And, you know, people say like, is there any yolks in them? And he would say, no, they're gluten-free, cholesterol-free, fat-free, but they are high in fiber. And they said, oh, what birds do they come from? And he said a woodpecker. And every single time I laughed because that's just funny because they're wooden eggs, right? Wooden eggs, woodpecker. And then I said that to some teenagers and they were like, oh, woodpeckers lay eggs? And I'm like, well, probably, but these aren't them because they didn't understand the joke, but it was funny. So we had a good chuckle over that. And so did the teenagers. It was funny. So this is what I got from Grandpa Doug. He has no social media, so I can't link him or anything, but his stuff is really pretty. So Thanks to Grandpa Doug, my new friend. And yeah, I'm gonna put this in my office somewhere, probably on my computer table. So I can put, like, you know, some cups or some, maybe my tissue box or something in here. I don't know. But I'll put it somewhere where I can admire it every day.
Paint me a scene, city and color, the way that you see, the way you see it. Don't you wish that I could give you, I could give you everything. If you wanna run ahead, I'll meet you where the water meets the earth we cling to. If you wanna find the edge, I'll come too. I could run around this world all day with you. Weightless, floating through the day. Trust that I'll be okay. I'm happy alone. Waiting for you. Wait until you realize.
So let's get into what I made throughout the month of March. Don't mind my glowing face here, sitting in front of the window and the sun's like right out there. So I did some more knitted test swatches for my former workplace. I did 21 in total, and luckily they were only 10 inches each. Some of them are 24 inches, some are 20, some are 18, but these were the easy ones, so that was nice. I added to my scrappy corner to corner blanket. You can see that I'm almost finished, which is just so great. I am running out of floor space to take photos of my progress. So there really only is one spot in my house right now that I can, you know, lay it out and actually get a good photo of it. I'm almost finished it, but I have run out of, you know, worsted weight acrylic yarns that I want to add to it. And I'm not going to pull, you know, an entire skein out just to, you know, add it to my scrappy blanket. It's supposed to be scrappy for a reason. So it's on hold until I get some more scraps of that. Sorry if you can hear Larry sighing. He's mad that I'm talking out loud while he's trying to nap. But there's another room that he could go to, but you know how that is. I added 3 skeins to my husband's scrappy corner to corner blanket for his man cave. So it looks like I added navy, sailor's delight, and like a green that I had extra of. And you would have seen this video already if you watched my channel. I made a sweater for my sister's boyfriend for his birthday. I still haven't given it to him. It's Easter coming up this weekend. So hopefully he's home for Easter and I can give it to him. We'll see. I did not finish any cardigans at all for my Etsy shop, just because I was busy working on other things. Speaking of which, what was I working on? I was working on the swimsuit cover-ups for that market I have coming up in May, the end of May in Niagara Falls, Ontario. Here's the first cover-up I made in March. So the brown/orange there, I think it should have been called rust, but it was called fawn. Like, you know, like a baby deer, and then lichen, I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's that nice green color. And I really do like that color. It is quite nice. It's not olive, but it's not like army green. It's a really pretty green. Number 2 was made with Bernat blanket, or sorry, not blanket, no, Bernat maker in the color teal. That's a really nice one. I do have to add some, like some trim to like the front and like the shoulder, just because I took it to my mom's place when we were doing some birthday celebrations, and I got all the women in my family to try it on, and it fell off everybody's shoulders. So I do have to tighten it up a bit, but that's easy to do. And then I used 4 skeins with Bernat Maker Sky Blue for this nice swimsuit cover up. So it's basically the same as this one, but the teal one was just a little bit larger. I made some more amigurumi. Yeah, it is a little bit addicting. Anne was right when she commented that how many weeks ago. So it is pretty addicting. You'll see the little pink and yellow dot over there is kind of fading out. Something that I had made for my aunts for their birthday. My one aunt got the top half of the gift, and then my other aunt got the bottom half of that gift. So You can figure out what that is, but it was a really fun month of amigurumi. There are certain things that I will never make again, like that tiny blue axolotl near the bottom of the screen. Just it was so hard on my hands because it was so tiny. But there are definitely ones that I want to continue to make. So, yay! So that's it. That's all that I finished for the month of March. So there's 31 full skeins, 42 partial skeins, and that means there were 73. And I know there were 20 skeins slash pieces put into charity beanies and cowls. So all in all, it was a good month. It was more than February, but less than January. But, I really enjoyed March. Since my birthday was in March, I wanted to share some, fun life things. So why not, right? So let's go through that. So I did 2 markets with plushies. There is a year-round market type thing near me that I signed up for, and I'm an occasional vendor, so I can go basically whenever I want. You just had to pay per day. If you do sign up for the whole season, of course, it's a lot cheaper, but I didn't want to do that. I felt like it was a waste of money because I don't plan on doing it every week, obviously. So I did 2 of them. First one went great, as you can see here on the left-hand side of the screen. Before and after shot is definitely different. It sold quite a bit that day. The second market I did, I had a lot more to take, and I did sell probably about the same amount. But I didn't get an after shot of this one only because I did not take the wind into account, and my cube shelf, so the white thing you see here, went airborne. And I don't mean just pushed over, I mean up in the air with all the plushies on it. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to release that video. I did make a video talking about it, but we'll see if I release it. I'm not sure if I will or not. So, lesson learned. Now I have to kind of revamp my display and try something different. So, oh well. At least it was on a Thursday and wasn't Saturday when there's lots of people there. But, oh well, what can you do? Speaking of Saturdays, I do want to do some Saturday markets at this place because those are the busier days rather than Thursdays, of course. Thursdays is a lot of like retired people, grandparents. So I usually end up selling the teddy bears because that's what they seem to associate with, baby gifts is teddy bears. It's a generational thing for sure. But yeah, that's the way it goes. And then a Saturday market is, a lot busier. Trust me, I've been there on Saturdays as a shopper, and it's crazy. So I look forward to that. I'm just waiting on a good weather Saturday because all Saturdays lately have been rainy and gross, and no, thank you. So since my birthday was in March, I did quite a few things. If you look on the left-hand side of the screen, my mother-in-law usually sends flowers over every year from our local florist, so that's so sweet of her, and I love it every year. My husband bought me a 32-inch monitor that I'm working on now for my computer, and it was a surprise, and that was just so nice because I've been trying to find one and try to find one used, but he bought a brand new one for me, and it's really nice. It's an LG. And then on my actual birthday, I went to the city and I had booked a fancy facial. I say it 3 times because it's close to $250 in the end, but I do it once a year as a treat to myself. And it was enjoyable, like it was last year. So, yay. I put a hyacinth graphic right in the middle here because hyacinths are my favorite flower. They're hard to have in the house though because of how scented they are. Husband always complains about them. They do kind of get, to me after a few days. So every time I go to the grocery store or a florist or the greenhouse, I do stop and sniff them. I wish I could have them in the house, but it is difficult. And then I was trying to make some plans with a friend of mine to go out for lunch, and she has off Mondays and Tuesdays, and so we were making lunch plans for the Tuesday, and we had that all set up and stuff. And then she had said, actually, you know what? I'm taking the kids to the Toronto Aquarium on the day before on the Monday. Do you want to come to that instead of lunch? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I do. I'll come I'll come to that. So I'm not a huge fan of being a passenger in a car or driving. So I do get really anxious. But the conversation helps, and focusing on her kids really helped me. And I took some knitting and crocheting for the car ride and for the train ride and all that fun stuff. So we drove over to Brampton, Ontario, and got on the GO train there and went into the city. And Union Station in Toronto is basically right next to the aquarium, so we could stick indoors. It was a rainy day, so that was great. And we went to the aquarium, and that was about 3 hours through the aquarium, then we had lunch, and we came back on the GO train. We were home by 4:30, so that was really great. We did leave at 7 a.m. though, so it was a long day, but it was great. I love sharks. I would love to be an underwater photographer someday, but I am terrified of the ocean. I have thalassophobia, and I'm afraid of the things underneath. Anything, not just the ocean. So it was cute because the shark up there fell asleep right on top of like the tube that you go under. So everybody was taking pictures of him, and it was great. And then we got to see axolotls. So that was cool. So that was the very bottom photo there. So they had like a dark gray one, and he was like blue eyed, and he had like blue teal limbs. As I said earlier, I'm colorblind. It's hard to tell. And then the white albino axolotl apparently is pretty rare, so that was really cool to see. She had blue eyes and blue and pink gills, and their limbs were a bit more pink than the photo showing there. It was hard to get a photo of them through the tank, but it was a really fun day, and I'm glad that I went. I would have regretted not going. I have been to the aquarium before once. Steve took me for my birthday last year, or 2 years ago. I don't remember now, but it was a great time. So it was nice to get out of the house and do something with a friend and her 3 little kids. Filming this on March 12th, I did get some yarn in from Yarnspirations, so we're gonna unbox it during this video. Everything, or almost everything, I don't really remember what I ordered, is Bernat Maker. So while it was on sale, I figured I would get a whole bunch and stock up these colors. And then I think I'll be good for a bit because I did some math and, you know, I need so many more of this to make this size and that size. So the swimsuit cover-ups I've been making, for a plus size, usually takes about 4 full skeins, and for a standard regular size, it takes about 3 skeins. So I did order, I think 1 or 2 extra skeins on top of that 7. So I could do 1 of each size and like each color or design that I want to do. So I can do some matching tote bags and possibly some bucket hats. I personally hate bucket hats, not making them or anything, but I hate the look of them. They need to stay in the 90s. Whoever brought those back, I'm mad at them because I think they're so ugly. But honestly, if I can make some and sell some along with the swimsuit cover-ups, they do look cute for like a vacation if you need like a type of sun hat type thing or like a matching outfit. So let's get into the colors that I ordered. So this first one is pretty easy. It's called Teal. Here's 2 more. They do come in these 2 packs, so I did try to order in like amounts of 2, but it wasn't always possible because I have a teal up here already, for example. So there's 3 teal. Here is 6 of sky blue. Yep, sky blue. This is a really nice color. By the time this video goes out, I should have one done because I'm halfway finished it right now. So I'll put a picture up here for you. This color works up so nice and it's just so pretty. And I thought, you know what, for summer and swimsuit cover-ups, and this would look so nice on the beach, like this color. Here's 2 of the color Soft Peach. In total, it looks like I got 3 of the peach, Soft Peach. I was gonna call it Peach Jam, but 3 of the Soft Peach because I already had 2 left over from my previous order. And here's a color I haven't had before, and I thought, you know, it's so pretty, I couldn't not. It is a bit darker in person than I thought it was. This is the color Hyacinth, which happens to be my favorite flower. So I thought, you know, how suiting. I do kind of wish it was more of like a pale pastel lilac color, but oh well, it's still pretty. I will probably end up using all of it. So I believe in total I ordered 10 of these, but let's count. Okay, so it looks like I ordered 9, which does make sense at the end because I need 7. So 4 plus 3 plus 2 for like some bags and stuff. I do the packing slip, but I don't want to spoil my surprise, so I'm not going to look through it right now. Okay, it looks like I got 3 of the color Lichen. I don't know how you pronounce that, but it's L-I-C-H-E-N. Lichen, I have no idea. So I got 3 of those because I already have 1.5 still. So you can see it up there at the very top in this view. So got those. Looks like I did get some other things that are not Bernat Maker. So this one is Bernat Premium. I ordered this one specifically because I have a whip that I cannot finish until I got another one. And while it was on sale, might as well. This is the color Candy Pink. It's a really nice color. And then I got 2 of Grape Soda. And this is also Bernat Premium. This is also a beautiful color. Like these 2 paired together are also really nice. So, just so pretty. This is a color I have not tried before, but I seen it and I was was wanting to make something specific with it, and I don't remember what. Maybe some turtles if I do some more amigurumi, but maybe it wasn't turtles. I know I bought some solid colors because I needed solid colors in blanket yarn, because right now I have maybe like 3 or 4 solid colors and the rest are variegated. And I like to pair solids and variegated when I do a cardigan. So if you do a cardigan out of all variegated, it just looks too busy sometimes unless you use like specific ones. So this is the color Spring Grass. So Spring Grass, this is a really nice color. I am partially colorblind, so I would love to describe it to you, but if I describe it to you and you see it differently, you're gonna be like, what? The last thing I got was 4 skeins of Bernat blanket in the color Coal, which is basically black. And I needed some black because I have so many variegated yarns that I really want to pair with black, but I only had one, like a partial skein, so I was like, you know what, while they're on sale, I'm gonna grab a bunch. So 4 in total. And that's everything I got from Yarnspirations this time. With that, it brings us to the end of our video. Thank you so much for coming back to see it. I appreciate that. Going forward, we shouldn't have any computer issues, knock on wood. Everything's good. This computer is amazing. I was able to edit this whole thing from start to finish because I couldn't edit on my old computer now this morning within an hour and a half, so that's good. So I know it was a bit of a cluster F of a video because there's so many different portions to it, but you know what, I figured I'd just throw it all in one video because I can now with my new computer, so yay. It's really fun how small the computer is. You see that little light down there? That's the computer. It's so small. It's heavy, but it's small. Going forward, something I do want to do, since I am now enjoying the amigurumi thingy, I'm going to do, so like next month, or well, for this month, April, I have been filming what I made this week type of thing. So I'm on the 3rd week of April right now because today's Good Friday. And so I have been doing that. It's been great. I didn't do it for the 1st week, but I did for the 2nd and 3rd week. So yay. Here's a preview. I've been making these little fidget worms. I got those curlers from the dollar store, like hair curlers for women or men with long hair. I've seen people do it on the golden retrievers too, which is hilarious. And they're bendy, right? So you put them inside a sleeve that you make and they're like fidget worms. My husband hates the sound. He's like, stop doing that. But they've been fun to make, and they come in a pack of 12 for $4.25 at Dollarama. So yesterday I just sat and made 12, and it was pretty good. It was easy to do. So I just did the first one. I did 8 stitches, and it's a little loose. So I switched to 7 stitches, and it was perfect. So if you want to do those, do them. I'm gonna put them in my $5 bin at my markets, or I'm gonna put like a little sign with them in like a bowl like this. Probably not the bowl I got from Grandpa Doug, but a different bowl, and put like, you know, what they are, like fidget worms, bendy worms, whatever. So I think it's a cool idea. I'm someone who can't sit still because of ADHD, and I like to fidget. So honestly, I might make some for myself too, for the, you know, for sitting around when I'm not crocheting. And yeah, so that's something I do want to do next month, because you see in the slideshow portions, I just put up a big collage of amigurumi, and I don't like doing that. I like talking about the projects, and when I watch YouTube videos about amigurumi or market days or whatever, I like seeing everybody's combinations of yarn, because then you get inspiration from other people, because you're like, well, for me, it's color blindness, and it's like, okay, what looks good with that? What solid looks good with that variegated? So that's been fun for me to watch and see and take inspiration from. So thank you so much for coming back and watching this video. I really appreciate it. Sorry about the delay, but at least it's nice to know that you guys were looking for me, and you know, look forward to my videos every Sunday. So I'll keep doing them for Sundays. I know a lot of people said that, oh, you know, I got up Sunday morning to watch my YouTube and no Melissa. So that was really sweet. So I do want to stick with Sunday uploads. I was thinking about changing it recently just because, you know, I don't have a job now, and I could change it, but I think Sundays is a nice day to have it up, because I know a lot of people sit Sunday mornings and, you know, just have like a relaxing morning, and I want to contribute to that for you. So I'm going to stick with Sundays, 6 a.m. because I always have it scheduled. So you'll see this on the, what day is it today? Today is the 18th, Good Friday. So you'll see this on the 20th. So I hope you guys have a great day, great week ahead, and I will see you next Sunday, that should be the 27th. Please remember that you are strong, you are beautiful, you are loved, and the world appreciates having you here.